Hello and welcome to this new episode of Continuum Gaming, and in this episode we are going to talk about another SailfishOS related topic, which is in this case a small little update that came out I think a week before, and that one got us a very important fix for the C2, so the Jolla Community Phone 2, and it's going to give you the ability to really use the native camera to really do video capturing or video camera stuff, whatever. And that was not possible till now because it just shut down the app when you open it and try to more or less capture anything with a video camera. Photo it did work, but the video functionality wasn't. And that was fixed with this update, and so if you have a C2, you really should install this. It's a small little update. I'm not going to give you a walkthrough through that because it's very easy to do that. But yeah, here's my C2, and today I want to show you that it's working now and of course what we have now. So let's have a look. I'm going to go over here. As you can see, it's going to show you everything that is going on my screen here on the big screen too, but with a little bit of delay and sometimes a little bit of lag. That's just normal in this case, but you can see everything that I'm doing here. So in the end, let's have a look first what we have there. So the first thing is I'm just going to show you the new version number, which is the 70 at the back there. Just go down to this one, and if you open that up, it takes a little, and after a while you will see, okay, it's 5.0.0.70 in this case now. And with this one, as you can see, it's about 9 days ago when I really got this update. And yeah, this one really gives you this opportunity. If you didn't install it till now, just go to the option I showed you there, so the update for SailfishOS, or Aktualisierung für SailfishOS in German. If you click on that, you're going to be brought to this part here, and then you can just go up to the drawer menu there, and in the drawer menu you will see, hey, there's a new update, or you can search for new updates like I can do now. Let's do that. And yeah, it's probably not going to be anything that is going to be found, but if you do that, then you should be able to see it. Yeah, it's the newest version at the moment. Okay, so if you did that and installed it then and did the whole process, you already know about that. I can show you, if you don't know, with another update I did before, how that is done. I already did it because I was pretty excited about this new update, because now the C2 is pretty much a daily driver material. So let's have a look at what we have now. We have now the option to, of course, go to the camera. I have a couple of folders here, doesn't really matter. If I go in here, you see I have 3 different things in here. So the gallery, of course, I have the advanced camera and the normal camera app from the smartphone. Before that you had to use, I think it's called Open Camera, which is an Android one, which worked with the C2. But we don't want to use that very probably, so we want to go with the camera app itself. So, and if I go into that, I can just show you, it's not really something I'm going to do in a very extensive way or something, but I can show you how to use it, how to do stuff with it now. And as you can see, we already see something here. It's a little bit laggy. Don't be fooled by that. On the smartphone itself, it's much better. But if we have a look now, we have the option to go, of course, between the photo camera, which worked before. That one is fine. And now you can even go to the video camera even. It was a pretty big mess that didn't work at the start, but now it does. And if you go to that, you can of course just click on it now and do some kind of video capturing, and it seems to be working. As you can see, there is now a real video available, which we can have a look at, as you can see here, and which plays back, and it's pretty fine. It does what it should. You can even use the different kinds of lenses in this case. So if you want to have a wider part here or go into the macro version parts, all is fine, all is working, and you can of course do another video if you want to with this one too. Yeah, and this is more or less what this update is all about, because there's not much more to see in this update. and you can have all the different kinds of videos I showed you before and just do them now with the C2. Took quite a while. I would have liked it to be much earlier solved in any kind of way, but didn't, so can't do anything about it, and it's better to have it now than never. Interesting thing is that it's really an in-between one. Of course, the SailfishOS version 5.1 is going to come later this summer, probably. It's meant to be out in the late summer or something, and then we are going to see what's going on. Anyway, there's another thing I want to show you besides this, because at the 1st of August there was a new little thing that Jolla posted, and that one is pretty interesting for everybody who just don't want this kind of smartphone. Maybe you want a different size, or you want better performance or whatever. It's a low spec smartphone in this case, and if you want something that is more powerful or whatever you want there, you can have a look at this post. It's an official one, so the Jolla guys really officially asked for that, and they asked for what would you like to see in another Sailfish OS empowered community phone. Let's call it the C3, we are not sure about it. And maybe it's going to be available in the first quarter of 2026 then, we don't know. I wouldn't take that, or I would take that with a grain of salt, of course, but in the end it's a very interesting thing. And if you go down here, you can see they are asking for a couple of different things here. So for instance, how large should the device be and stuff like that. And they really are asking the community, what would you like to see in this smartphone? And of course they are asking for a price point and how much memory should be in there. There are a couple of different really interesting small polls here, which are asking for different kinds of things. As you can see, okay, memory, how much memory should it be have, and so on and so forth. They're going pretty deep into details, and if you have a look at it, many people already wrote it. I would recommend you to vote too if you want to have any specific feature in here, and it's a very good thing that they are really asking the community about that, which is a pretty cool thing if you ask me. And yeah, how much internal storage should be there. You can see which kind of display would you like, so the size of the display in the end. Should it be something like 6 inches, whatever, more or less the size of the Sony Xperia's. I would highly recommend that because it's a pretty nice size. I like the big size of the C2 too, but I can see why people think it's too big. Depends on your hand size, for instance, if you can reach over on the screen with your thumbnail, of course, and of course if you have the trousers or stuff like that to put it into. So I can totally see why people would like something like, I don't know, 5.7, 5.6 inches or something like that, more or less like the Sony Xperia's were, and not like the C2 were, but it really, C2 is this one, it really depends. I can't see anything in the 5-inch area there, just because, sorry people, but you can't buy stuff that is that small anymore. And if there's nobody more or less producing stuff that is, I don't know, 4.7 inch or whatever, and where would you like to get all this information or all the different things you got here from? So Jolla is not going to do an own manufacturing shop or something. They are working with other manufacturers together, and it's not rational more or less to ask them to do something like, hey, I want 32 gigabytes of RAM in my smartphone, and it should be the fastest processor available, and so on and so forth, and put it into something that is that small. It's not going to work out. I can't help you there. Yeah, resolution part is there too. Very interesting too to ask that. So would you like to have full HD, 4K, or something in between? I would say something in between is a pretty good thing. Maybe full HD is fine too, depends on the screen size, of course. Depending on what you voted there, you should vote here in a reasonable way. Yeah, important for that as well, of course, how fast is the smartphone gonna be, and how long is the battery life going to be, and how much battery do you going to expect there. Because in the end, the higher the resolution, the higher you go there, the more powerful your processor should be, and the bigger the battery has to be in general. It's not exactly that easy, but in general, the higher you go, the higher you have to go with the battery, the more expensive it's going to be, and so on and so forth. So think about it first. Don't just say, hey, I want the best of all. It won't work, or at least not at a reasonable price. Cameras. So what would you like to have here? That is a pretty interesting thing, and something I really I had to think about that when I really participated here. Because would you like to have a zoom camera on it? Would you like to have an ultra wide or something else? And of course we're talking about a selfie cam and some kind of a normal back cam there, or rear cam. And then what should be the third one, or should there even be four, or whatever? We will see. You can of course always go in here and put something like other, and then just talk about it in the commentary section down below, or in the thread more or less. It's a forum. If you go here, how should the selfie camera be? What would you like to it to have? Like, should it be widespread, should it be narrower, and so on and so forth. It's really detailed, if you ask me. And this one is very interesting too. So in the end, how this works is there were a couple of different features they asked for. So what is the most important for you in this smartphone? And it's not that the highest up here is the best, but it's the worst. So this means at the first round, BT 5.4 was eliminated. This doesn't mean that it's unimportant or something, or that it's not going to be in there, but it's less important than all the other stuff that is coming down here. And as you can see, we have a couple of different things here, and one of them is of course a fingerprint reader, which is probably one of the most annoying things. The C2 doesn't have a fingerprint reader, so you would have to go with a face recognition algorithm or something. Not included in the C2 at the moment neither. So in the end you only can use a PIN on this, or a password, whatever you want there. But in the end it's a manual part, and that is not something people are used to anymore. And so I would highly recommend to go with a fingerprint reader too. And so you can see the lower the feature is, the more important the feature is for the people. And as you can see, if you go down here, repairability is pretty high on the list. I can understand why, but in the end, for me at least, repairability isn't one of the most important ones. It's important, but it's not more important than, for instance, dual SIM or something, because repairability is fine. But if you need dual SIM, you can't go without it. And if you handle your smartphone with care and stuff like that, repairability is never an issue. So like that, I would say if you need dual SIM, it's much more important than anything else on the list, or at least at many other things. Maybe the fingerprint reader, for instance, is one very important one too. I can see that. And why not? The 3.5mm audio jack is probably something important too for somebody who likes wired earpieces or something. That's fine, I can see why. Because this is all hardware related, and those parts are really something you may need for everyday usage. And that's more important than something that might happen if you are unlucky, for instance, and you drop your smartphone or something. But it depends, and I will say everything is fine. If you want to have this, do it like this, and it's all your point. Price point is even asked. Again, if you're saying, hey, less than $600, and you're clicking on all the different check marks there with the highest level, unrealistic. So be very careful about that. Think about it really in detail if you are answering this, and I highly recommend you to answer this, because you can't ask for everything and say, hey, but I want it basically for free. No, you're not going to get that. It has to be something in a reasonable fashion, so think about it if you are voting for stuff. And of course, if you want to pay $1,000 or something for it, or euros in this case, and you are fine with that, do it. It's fine, you can, but be reasonable about what you are doing here. So it doesn't make sense to go with the less than 600 price point, but wanting everything. And of course, the same thing would be if you are going with the lowest specs and just give, say something like, hey, $1,000 and above is fine for me. Probably not the best idea too, because we are talking about something that is reasonable for the price, okay? Yeah, and after that, there's even a market thing, which I find very interesting. In the end, as you already know, or probably know, Jolla is selling their smartphones and their systems, at least officially, only in the European Union. So, in addition to that, of course, the English, the UK markets are there, Switzerland and stuff like that, but we are talking Europe, okay? So anything close to Europe is more or less covered, but hey, why not go to another one too? But of course, the most important thing is, hey, this should be available for the European area. I don't get the question exactly, because of course everybody who already has a SailfishOS phone will vote for the European Union in this case, but wasn't it about other markets maybe? So what can we go, for instance, to the Turkish market or to the American one or whatever, so the US market or whatever. That would be something I could see better here, so North America makes sense, but all the other things, shouldn't it be something outside of Europe market because you're already in the Europe market? But yeah, whatever, it's just what it is, just try to ask. And as you can see, there are a couple of different things here, 500 answers already, so we are not going to talk about everything in this part. But you can already see, hey, there are a couple of different informations here. Some are, more helpful than others, again, because there are very hateful people sometimes in there, or at least people who are, illusionists or whatever you want to talk and call them. I think they talk about stuff they don't understand, or they are just being Hamish or something. But doesn't really make matter in the end. Just have a look at this. I'm going to post the link down below in the commentary section, and, or better to say, in the description of the video itself. Just go there, go to the Jolla forum in this case, and please make sure to vote in this part, because it's very, very important and very, very interesting that Jolla is really asking you. And if you want to have a look at what already got voted there, you can always do that too. If you go to display tally, you can just click on that and you should see a little bit more, for instance, in this case. And of course, if you didn't vote till now and you are logged in, then you're not going to see the answers at the start, but you can click on the button to see them nevertheless. Yeah, and this is more or less everything I wanted to show you in this episode. I hope you had fun with it. I think it's a pretty interesting and important one, and especially for C2 owners, of course, make sure you get this update. It's very, very important. It makes the C2 more or less a pretty capable device then. It's still not the fastest and stuff like that, we all know about that, but it's fine for what it is. And other than that, I hope you had fun with this episode. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening. If you have any kind of questions, comments, whatever, put them down below in the commentary section. I'm trying to answer everything. And other than that, thank you for watching, see you around. Give it a thumbs up, of course, and subscribe to the channel if you didn't till now. And other than that, see you and bye. Bye!